women to me are also like inanimate objects, in that I love them very much, and I think that they all have beautiful individual spirits. So, thanks for tuning in to Comedy Covideo. We've got one more comedian who puts the com in comedy. Thank you for no one laughing at that. He puts the Eddie in comedy. Mal and Vigil, one of the funniest people I know. Thanks, Tyson.
Oh, I know you're drunk now. But I put the Eddie in comedies going on a blurb in my first book, for sure. Because no one else will write a good blurb. Just out of natural. I went for that. I don't need a stand. So Tyler James, who you just saw up here, did stand up with me. I started stand up in Denver in about, I don't know, 2016, 2015, somewhere around. Moved to the Springs, actually tried it. That's where I met Tyler James. He was a stand-up there. And I saw him do some amazing sets, especially roasting his ex-girlfriend at the time. That was exactly where his skill came into play. And then we moved up here in, I don't know, 2017 into Denver. And going into Denver comedy mics in 2017 as nobodies, we used to have to walk home in pairs to make sure one of us didn't run out into the street. Like that was like our buddy system. that it started one night where I was talking to him about some bullshit that some new. By the way, I'm manic depressive, so I have all these great ideas all of a sudden. Like, what if we built resin models of sharks? And he's just staring at the street, and I was like, hey, let's switch sides on the sidewalk. Because there are no good jokes in the street. So he ended up dating a woman, fucking fancy, and has been doing that instead of comedy. You know, I had the balls to not go up at mics and instead fuck a blow-up doll in my apartment and prove myself to comedy in that way, and also not go up to mics either. But yeah, Tyler James. That was all I just thought of I have no prepared set. Does anyone have? I mean, you did, because you still have your little very, I can't think of the word, very fancy, like leather bound. It's so you. It's so you that I have so many notebooks that are just stickers and rubber bands. Because I'm insane. But your notebook matches you. I'd know who that was if you didn't write your name on it. I am an alcoholic. I should probably admit that. This is the time for that. Because it's been long enough I haven't seen people. Or I have 3 people I'm stalking. 2 of them are men. One of them is a woman who comes to the liquor store I work at. But okay, Carmen, Frankie, and Eddie. But I'm an alcoholic, and I don't know how to, like, in quarantine, isn't that just what everyone is? Like, I came to the realization that I'm an alcoholic in the midst of everyone realizing they're an alcoholic. But I feel like mine is more substantial. Is anyone... Like, why do they call it a liver if it's always dying? Every time you talk to a doctor, it's about to die. This time, for sure. Has anyone used their big book of AA as a pillow? Anyone got so drunk they did that?
Pillow?
That kind of AA.
I've used it as a pillow, but not as a pillow.
The big book of AA. You know that one? No, that kind of drunk takes years. That takes years to master to get to that point. Was it O'Shea told, like, cross-dressing story forced on by his dad. I hope I had something. I'll just tell the story of my uncle. So we'll skip along a few story beats here because this is for some kind of hour-long thing. But I grew up in a cult. There was a compound with concrete walls. We prayed to a statue that bled. But I worked the corn and the raisin berries. But I was the oldest, so also the chosen. You know what? It's a cult, so chosen. We make up our own terms. I was the chosen of the children to lead them and blah, blah, blah. And of my cult, my grandmother ran the cult. She was the head. I don't know his name in Waco, whatever. She was that guy. Wacko. Yeah, she was the Waco. She was the wacko of Waco. And over the years, since I left the cult, I've been distancing myself from my family members because every time I've seen them since then, they've threatened me for doing stand-up comedy. I don't know, I know everyone's families are upset that they're doing comedy, as you should be. Has anyone apologized to their mom during the quarantine for doing stand-up? An obviously bad idea for doing? Anyway. What is it? The cult threatens me sometimes. Whenever 3 times I've been back there since I left, they're like, hey, I hear you're doing comedy. Hope no one's saying anything. That should be blah, blah, blah. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'm going to clean the shotgun. All that shit. And my uncle is the prophet of the cult. Later, I diagnosed him, because no real doctor will ever do it, as a schizophrenic. Because what he does is has visions. And then he tells those visions to the cult, and they become prophecy. And so my favorite one of all of them that I ever heard, it was the most complex by far, but it was that rat mutants,